What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And in this review, we're going to talk about the game Ballz 3D, which was released on the Super Nintendo, 3DO, and Sega Genesis by PF Magic and Accolades. Now, as far as the story is concerned, it's really paper thin in that you pick a character and you try to be a champion of this specific fighting tournament. There's not a lot to be said about the tournament and everything in and of itself and everything. Now, you can pick from 8 playable characters who are Boomer, Bruiser, Crusher, Divine, Grunt, Tsumi, Turbo, and Yoko. Now, there is one extra player named Zombie, but he's only playable in the director's cut version of this game and everything. And pretty much like any other fighting game, the characters have their own move list and everything. And I guess they have their own backstory and everything. I don't pretty much know a lot about their backstory or their motivations or for being in this particular tournament. Now, there are 5 bosses in the game that you fight, and they're all called Jiggler, Bouncer, T-Rex, Lamprey, and the Gesture. And the Gesture is pretty much the main antagonist of the game and everything. Now, there is pretty much 3 modes in the game: the one-player mode, two-player mode, and options. Now, the one-player mode is pretty much the main game, you know what I'm saying, where you pick one of the characters and go through the tournament and stuff. Now, in the two-player co-op mode, you pretty much fight against another player, and you can only play as the one of the pretty much the playable characters, whether it's Vile, Crusher, or Bruiser, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much with the options, you can pretty much change the difficulty. Only in the single player mode with that, you can change the best of rounds, and that's only with that, the belt level and the replay, you can turn that on or off, but that's only in the two-player co-op mode only. You know what I'm saying? And you can also change the sound, speaker quality, the button configuration, and all that. You know, and you could also turn the hyper mode on and off. I don't know what's the point of that anyway. You know, now the graphics and design, while they are like digitized like the early Mortal Kombat games, but it's pretty much decent at best. But the color palette is bland and everything. And as far as the controls and gameplay are concerned, they're at best they're pretty much mediocre and forgettable. You know what I'm saying? Now I can say that the soundtrack is forgettable as well. It's also just as bland as the color palette for the game and everything. I would say the biggest gripe that I have with Ballz 3D is the fact that the difficulty, you think you can have an advantage in the early going, but the the CPU in the one player mode will come back and beat you. That's out of nowhere. Then there's like the camera angles in certain parts of the fight where it'll come up behind you and make it like kind of difficult to see whether or not you hit your opponent sometimes, whether you're talking about the one player mode or 2-player co-op and everything. Now, Ballz 3D isn't technically the worst game that I played, but it's still a turd fest and everything. And if you want like a good fighting game on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis this week, I would honestly recommend Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter on those 2 consoles, because I don't know about any good fighting game on the 3DO and stuff. As far as the score, I definitely give it a 4 out of 10 because it's not technically good, and there's maybe one or two redeemable things about Ballz 3D, but that's not a lot from a raw standpoint. Now, with that being said, you can sound off in the comment section about Ballz 3D, whether you like it or you hate it, and all that. You can even recommend better fight games on the Super Nintendo and Genesis release. You can even talk about some good fighting games on the 3DO that was released for that too. And if you like this video, don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 signing off.